Cancer can be a frightening diagnosis, even more so if patients have to travel to Vancouver for treatment, leaving family and friends behind. The BC Cancer Agency Centre for the North was a long time coming. Now, the centre is trying to do a better job of serving First Nations communities.
Every day, Marie Krause reaches out to First Nations people. The secret?
And really understand the history of First Nations people and very often the trauma that has been experienced, because if you're not really trauma competent, it's pretty difficult to do a really good job with people who've been severely traumatized.
Now the BC Cancer Agency is trying to do just that. It finds Aboriginal people are much less likely to access treatment, so the Centre for the North is reaching out. When the BC Cancer Agency Centre for the North first opened more than a year ago, it brought cancer treatment closer to home for people throughout our region. Now better treatment is coming even closer for First Nations communities.
We want to look at ways in which we can close those gaps from diagnosis right to discharge. The BC Cancer Agency is responsible for the treatment of all cancer patients in BC as well as the Yukon. So we want to make sure that we have access to services for our Aboriginal population, the same way that we do for our general population.
The Cancer Agency has just started a new program where it's partnering with First Nations communities.
So we don't want to come in with an agenda to say this is what we're going to do. So what we want to do is hear from communities and hear what challenges are specific to different communities and work with communities to close that gap.
That is the solution. I think communities can better tell us what they need than we can sort of suggest or even guess.
Cancer Agency's new program is being funded by the Canadian Partnership Against Cancer. Marie Krause says it's one more way the healthcare industry is trying to help First Nations communities, treating them with understanding and respect.
And I think the most important part from our perspective here at Native Health is really understand the First Nations perspective, really understand who First Nations people are, and treat people with respect and dignity and with no racism or anything else as part of that.
There are obstacles to First Nations getting the best treatment out there. Getting regular checkups with a family doctor can be tough, especially in remote communities. Transportation can also be an issue. There can be cultural barriers as well.
How do we improve access to screening? Do communities want more information on prevention programs? Or at the end of a cancer journey and people are transitioning back to their community, what are some survivorship resources that we can have available for them? So we're not quite sure yet how that's going to look, because it will be driven by the communities.
First, treating Aboriginal people with respect, then treating their cancer needs. Camille McDonald, CKPG News.